Peace, family. This is the Drapetomaniac Podcast, and I'm Ayapo Yapa, the HDIC, that is, the head Drapetomaniac in charge, and we're here to have conversations on how to get off this plantation. Time is one of the most precious things we have as human beings, because in terms of a moment, even when we wait for one, as soon as it gets here, it's gone, and we're anticipating the next one, which leaves us perpetually in the now, if you think about it. That said,
excuse me, I'm sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to make sure that you listeners are listening to the Drapetomaniac Podcast on doayamedia.com. You are, right?
The past is good for contemplating in order to decide what to do with the future that you plan. But ultimately, when we are in our final moments, what will we possibly look back and say? As the people who watched Harriet probably said, I really wish I could get those 2 hours of my life back. There's a saying that no one on their deathbed ever said, I really wish that I'd done more overtime at work. Just as with those things, I have become acutely aware of time, how quickly it passes, how easily it's wasted, and how it needs to receive far more attention and respect than we seem to give it. How does one get to Mount Olympus? Make sure that each step you take is toward Mount Olympus. I often hear our people say to those who are in opposition to them, or trolls or haters and so on, that I've got time today. But do you really? Do we really? Perhaps they do. But speaking for myself, I realize now that I don't have time to waste time. Unless me or mine are being physically attacked, all my energies, such as is humanly possible, needs to be toward distancing myself from the system of white supremacy that has oppressed our people for centuries. The side arguments, the white-splaining, only serves one purpose in my opinion, and that is to distract me from the cause that I need to be spending my precious time attending to, and not dealing with that which will not change the mind of the oppressor or opposition or mine. And every moment that I spend not working to get free is a moment that I've wasted not working to get free. So, I called out this coon or that one. I've dragged this celebrity or that one about something they said or did that was vile or stupid against our people. I made a meme out of the next barbecue Becky or Brad, and I clowned them so much that they never want to show their face in public again. I've pulled down every Confederate statue and burned every Confederate flag ever produced. Now what? What have I done? This system is still firmly in place, and any seeming changes are actually just the system evolving to keep the same thing going under a different disguise, while lulling our people back into complacency because of all the symbolic victories. So for me, the fight is to get loose of this system and get away from it. And no, that doesn't mean non-stop work. Of course, we need leisure time and to slow down and enjoy the scenery from time to time. I'm not talking about that. Because if you look at it in the right way, leisure and periods of unwinding actually are ways of moving forward if used correctly, because it's not possible to always be on. Anything that stays on and never turns off eventually wears out, and that includes people. It's called burnout. So some relaxation and escapism is actually a good thing every now and then. But after the rest period, it needs to be back to work. And work, at least for me and my journey, is to escape this plantation and stay off of it. I found myself listening to less and less of the various commentators on YouTube and on other social media, because it's all starting to sound the same to me. Even with the protests, marches, and everything that's happening, I'm not hearing we need to separate. Everything to my ear is sounding like Please stop hurting us. Please stop killing us. Please see us as equals. Please recognize our humanity, and so on. Which is fine, I guess, if one's goal is to be treated like an American and have a chance at the American dream and to integrate. But for those who seek to separate, like me, all other points are moot and beyond pointless. As I'm always saying and using the analogy of leaving a job, if my goal is to leave that job, then whether or not they're expanding or building a new break room or giving raises or coming down with new rules or anything, it has literally nothing to do with me. So my attention is going to be focused on my new job, whether at a different firm or working for myself. All the side arguments, even down to reparations, which I firmly believe are owed to our people and should be paid to our people, actually melt down into non-issues, because if there is a way possible to separate and no longer have the boot of the system of white supremacy firmly on your neck, that is the business that I need to be about. And I readily admit that what I'm talking about is my personal path, while perhaps calling people out or quote-unquote putting people in their place may actually be the ministry and mission of someone else. So I can only speak for myself. So anything that does not directly correlate to me, as far as my personal journey is concerned, breaking free of this system, not integrating into it, is something I need to count as time spent not attending to my ultimate goal. Freedom, security, safety, and sanity through separation. Thank you for listening to this edition of the Drapetomaniac Podcast. This is Ayapo Yapa, the HDIC, that is the head Drapetomaniac in charge, saying thank you to my beautiful wife Angela for doing last week's broadcast, and also wishing her a happy birthday today. And to all those who took the time to listen, thank you once again, and as always, I'll see you on the run.
And thank you again for listening to the Drapetomaniac Podcast. Tune in next week at doiamedia.com. DOEAIAMEDIA.com. And again, we'll catch you on the run. Peace.